Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you're all having a great morning so far. We have a nice weekend ahead of us.
It's Friday. TGIF, yes, worth the clap. Yeah, the weekend is just about here. Last punch of the clock, I like to say, as we close out what's been a few cloudy days.
Right.
Finally, the sky's starting to clear out. In fact, it looks real nice out there. I wonder if we can pull up one of those cameras real quick.
Oh, sure. Take your pick.
Yeah, let's go to that Greenville camera just to kind of give a look outside the studio real quick. Those thin upper level clouds generally clearing. I expect more sun than clouds. By the time we get to late morning into the afternoon, we can come back up on us. And this is nice to see because we've been socked in with the clouds the last couple of days. I think the weekend we'll stay on the sunnier side of the equation, keep the clouds out of here.
Nice.
For the most part. There'll be some upper level clouds, but nothing rain bearing, looking good. So we'll talk about that. I'll get you set with a tropical update, that little system out in the deep Atlantic. And then maybe rain chances trying to get in here next week. Okay. I'll time that out for you guys, tell you what I'm seeing here in a little bit.
Yeah, these are the exact type of weekends you want to see, especially as, you know, the days of summer are really coming down. We are almost to fall.
Yeah, summer is winding down. There's still some decent beach days to be had. Water temps on the coast still in the upper 70s. The rip current risk, however, is still high on the Outer Banks, unfortunately, and I think that's going to hang through the weekend with that onshore wind.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a great run temperature-wise. This little early taste of autumn we've been enjoying, that's not going to change. We've got 10 days of summer left, the equinox on the 22nd. And again, I don't see much in the way of above normal temperature. Some of the nation baking, not here. We're doing real good.
Well, that's awesome to hear. Well, we'll talk more about your forecast in just a few moments. Before we get into that, though, we do have a story out of Greenville that we heard about last night. Greenville Fire Rescue. During the Greenville City Council meeting, the City Council approved a new scheduling change for Greenville Fire Rescue first responders. So typically what they had originally been doing is the 48-hour model of working. So responders would be working a 24-hour shift, and then they would have off for 48 hours for rest before their next shift would start. That is going to be changing. They just approved this new schedule change, so now they'll be seeing 24 72-hour model, so still holding that 24-hour shift, but this time they're going to be doing a 72-hour kind of rest period in between their shifts. So just to give them more rest, especially because they're on these 24-hour calls. These are long, a lot of things can happen during the course of the period. So nice to have that flexibility there.
Yeah, I would imagine all the firefighters saying this works.
Right.
I'm glad this has happened. And you're right. I mean, when we're active with wildfires and things are really popping, they can work those 24-hour shifts nonstop.
Right.
Happens frequently. And that's tough because that is not a job for the weak. That is work. A lot of times in the heat, that rest very much needed. So yeah, it's nice to see that's been addressed.
Yeah, so
we being addressed.
Yeah, it's being addressed. So not happening just yet, but they've approved it and they're working to get it all implemented in the coming months. So we do have a story from last night about that.
Are used to working long hours, and for years the city of Greenville has operated on a 24-48 model. Meaning first responders may work for 24 hours or more with overtime, with just 48 hours off from work to rest. Due to that model, the turnover rate for first responders has increased as a result of the workload and burnout with not much time left for rest and recovery.
The science shows that one 24-hour shift of sleep deprivation takes about 48 hours to recover from. Right now they're working on 24-48, so if they have any kind of a holdover or overtime schedule or anything like that, then they don't have time to recover before they come back in.
On Thursday, the city approved a new 24-72 schedule, which will allow first responders 3 days off, which also means 24 fewer hours of work a month. Winterville Fire Rescue and EMS is one station in Pitt County that has already adopted this model.
Basically work one day on, you get 3 days off, and on those 3 days you get more time to be home with family, more time to digest the days that you had at work, decompress a lot of the workload that we go through.
Greenville's Deputy Fire Rescue Chief Jesse Harris says the new change will bring significant benefits for the department for years to come.
being able to do this is transformative for our department as well as for the lives of our employees and their families, and really for years to come, even for those that are here. But this changes our schedule going forward, so all the folks to come after us, it's better for everyone.
Yeah, so it is nice to see those changes, especially like one of the first responders mentioned in this story. It gives them the opportunity to be with their family, to rest. I know, like we said, 24-hour shifts, a lot can happen in the course of that. Sleep deprivation, it can be a huge problem, and especially going into another shift and you're feeling still super tired from the last one.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Know that feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always like it when an issue like this is fully addressed and they're working hard to fix that. I wonder, we were talking, with that new shift schedule, if they'll have to bring in more firefighters.
Right.
Because it sounds like the individual firefighters would be working overall maybe fewer hours than they were. I don't know the logistics of that, but maybe that means more positions opening up. Either way, more rest is good, right?
Yep.
More rest, better able to handle that situation if and when it arises and you need them. So
yeah, and it does sound like that this schedule shift is going to start being implemented next March. So March of 2026 is when they'll actually get the ball rolling on all of that. So
was that just a Pitt County, or was that a
this was
Eastern?
Greenville Fire Rescue.
Gotcha.
We do know that Winterville, their fire team, they actually already have this schedule in place, and they think it's a pretty effective model.
So that's good. They had a good kind of something to look at, say how's it working for you guys. So good.
Yeah, all
good
right.
to hear.
Well, yeah, awesome. Well, let's talk weekend weather. We've got a lot of good news.
Yeah, the weekend for a lot of folks means catching up on sleep.
Yep.
And we'll have nice weather when you are up and out to enjoy when you're not sleeping. I want to talk drought monitor first, and then I'll dig into the forecast. So the drought monitor was updated yesterday. It's updated every Thursday at around 7:30, 8 a.m. or so. And the update yesterday, this was before the update. And so you look at the legend, you see the yellow box, dry or abnormally dry, if you want to get exactly how they define it. Most of us were in that status before the update. Then the update came down, and those that weren't in it now are. So now all of eastern North Carolina considered abnormally dry. We were in a significant, moderate to severe drought right at the end of spring, headed into summer, and then we saw a nice pattern switch. We started getting regular rain. We managed to get the drought out of here. And now as we begin to wrap summer up and transition into autumn, we're headed back into a dry pattern. That may change the middle of next week, not a slam dunk, but we might get a shot of rain in here Tuesday, Wednesday. But not much until then, generally staying dry. You can see the MTD, total rainfall month to date, 0. We've seen no rain this month. That's a 2.5-inch deficit. For the year, we're still an inch above normal. That was the wet summer. But in the shorter term, it's been dry out there. And you can see it, the grass slowing down. Of course, the sun getting a little lower in the sky as well, aiding that slowdown in the growth. All right, let's talk tropics. We've got our little entity, our tropical system, out in the deep Atlantic. It's the only game out there right now, and it's not exactly jumping off the satellite imagery. Let's get you out there. Widen that shot out. I like to give you that perspective from us to the storm location. This is a tropical wave right now. A little disturbance along the African coast. As it transitions further westward, expected to slowly get more organized. Yesterday when we were on, I showed you a 30% chance. That's now 40. So we go from what they consider low to medium probability of development. Again, Gabrielle on a hold on this storm, the G storm, perhaps next week. Doesn't look like it would happen before Monday or Tuesday of next week, if at all. Not a slam dunk on this. Much like the last system, remember, what was it, about 7-8 days ago, we were watching the same thing. Tropical wave out there, got all the way up to 90%. Looked like a slam dunk. We were going to have Gabrielle, and then it fell apart as we're fighting that dry air out there. Sorry about that satellite image. A little dust coming off the African coast, inhibiting development as well. All right, get you into the Caribbean, the Gulf, nothing out there, nothing brewing. Pockets of showers and storms off the Florida coast. Maybe a weak low trying to come together there. That's the one I think will scoop by us over the weekend and stay offshore by 50, 60, 70 miles or so close. But everything says nothing out of that. So more sun than clouds as we come back to the here and now. Temperature from the mid-60s now. We'll hit about an 80-81 degree high this afternoon. Nice northeast breeze at 10. Good stuff. Comfortable temps and keeping that party rolling into the weekend. There was the raindrops yesterday. Not much, as expected. Some patchy light rain or drizzle. That's done. And again, the clouds kind of breaking up out there. Those mid-level clouds we showed you on that live cam. Air temp 64 in Greenville. A lot of 64s. Kinston, Kenansville, New Bern, Jacksonville, all coming in at 64. We've got a 70 out there at Hatteras. Roanoke Rapids showing 5.5. Again, that gauge typically reads a little bit too low, I would say. All right, north wind and holding that north breeze through the weekend. All right, so we'll keep those temps generally in the low 80s, upper 70s, low 80s. That's later this afternoon, 81-ish degrees. And I mentioned the water temp and the surf. Looks good. Still in the mid 70s north, still doable. Holding near 80 on the Crystal Coast. The onshore wind hitting the Outer Banks, pushing that water into the beaches, creating those dangerous rip currents. Then offshore winds, Crystal Coast. Rip current risk much lower with 2 to 3 foot waves there. That wind speed 15 to 20. So a little breezy on the beaches. No rain though, transitioning to mostly sunny. We just had a low tide, so we'll come to a high tide at about noontime. This coastal flood advisory runs through that high tide at midday. They're extending this again today as water levels continue to run 1 to 2 above normal. Sound side, Carteret County. And that advisory does include coastal Onslow County, 1 to 2 above normal as we go through that high tide cycle midday today. No major flooding here, just some of those typically prone areas to higher waters, seeing that. Today and tomorrow, good and good, 80 and 80. That party continues Sunday. High pressure on the East Coast keeps us looking good and feeling good. 60 in the morning, 80 in the afternoon. And I round just for simplicity's sake, 60, 80. Kind of lock that in your head. The next 4 days or so, no rain. Clouds increase Monday, and then rain chances start to show up Tuesday into Wednesday. 30% right now. That could end up much higher if this low, some of the models are showing on the coast, does tuck in here. If it heads a little further offshore, that rain chance will go away. Both of those are possibilities right now. I hate to do that to you guys, but I could flip a coin right now. It could go either way. As we go through the next 48 hours into the weekend, we'll get a much better handle on how that rain chance is evolving next week. So stay tuned on that. But in the shorter term, it's all about the weekend. Yeah. Beautiful, fantastic, gorgeous, enjoy, good stuff.
Yeah, get outside, do any kind of yard work, anything you need to do, even relax. It's going to be a beautiful, comfortable weekend out there.
Yeah, and great football weather, all the high school games. I'll kind of dig into those when we come back up at 8 a.m.
Awesome.
High school games tonight, and of course, a lot of you will be traveling to South Carolina this weekend to watch the Pirates. I'll dig into that forecast. It looks great down there as well. The good stuff. Really, the I-95 corridor from Maine all the way through North Florida. Looking really nice till you get into South Florida.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Jim, and thanks everyone for joining us this morning. Just want to say hello and good morning to Tony. Like we've been mentioning, TGIF, nice weather for the weekend, which is really awesome. Good morning to Faye as well, and a Hosky. And George, good morning. Have a wonderful weekend to you as well. Enjoy it. We're going to be back at 8 a.m. for another news and weather update. Hope to see you then.
Bye.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.